Welcome, friends. Welcome back to your yoga mat. Please take a seat with me, sitting up nice and tall, spreading your knees apart, and I'm sitting up on a nice tall bolster so that my hips are higher than my knees. Allows the low back to easily come forward and the heart to lift. And I'll show you just the opposite of when I sit on my, without the bolster behind me. So that's what that looks like. And I just kind of can just keep fluffing it to make it a little bit higher. But look, when I sit down, I kind of slump. My heart isn't quite lifted so high. It's a little bit more effort, and I can kind of feel it up into my hip flexors as I try to stay up tall. So I always like to use this bolster. You can also use a block and a blanket together, however you want to do that. So go ahead and join me, sitting up nice and tall. Pause the video if you need to go grab something to sit upon. You'll notice some pillows actually squish, some like fluffy blankets aren't really going to give you the support. So finding a cotton or wool blanket, a Mexican blanket works really well. And again, if you wanted to just use the block, that's a simple way to help lift the hips. And then rolling yourself forward so you're not sitting on the middle of the blanket, you're sitting more toward the front edge, and kind of wiggle yourself forward. And notice that helps automatically inner spiral your legs to create this cascade of effect all the way up through the crown of your head. And then simply close your eyes and take advantage of this silence, this space that we're creating here in our day, just coming to our mat and being still. Allow grace to wash over you in this silence. The grace is always around us. Sometimes we just stop. We forget to stop and to listen and to feel the effects of that grace. Let the tongue move away from the roof of the mouth, softening the jaw and the eyes, the scalp. Breathe in and to any areas that might feel a little tense. You can always wiggle around a little bit, loosen things up again. So we're not holding ourselves in this taut, upright position, but rather putting our bones in proper alignment to let the muscles relax. Lean back slightly. Feel the effect of the focus on the breath. Just by bringing the awareness to the breath, can you feel it begin to deepen? The breath becomes a little sweeter. So keeping your eyes closed, I just want to read to you a couple thoughts from Donna Farhi about balance in yoga. So nothing like a balance pose in yoga to bring us up against our limitations. How we respond is a pretty accurate indication of our inner state. We usually operate between extremes, and yoga embodies that moderate state where we find fullness in the moment. So today in your practice, I want to encourage you to embody this thought that instead of handling difficulty by trying harder, can we actually find balance of energy, balance of thought, balance in the body by creating a little bit of softness and maybe trying a different approach to find that balance. Finding the balance between the in-breath and the out-breath. Finding the balance between your right and left side. Finding the balance between being too far forward and too far back. Finding the balance in the mind balancing the space between the thoughts. So we allow the thoughts to come and the thoughts to go. We create a little bit of space between the thoughts so they're not doubled up on each other. And we set that message that all is well, all will be well, and that whatever is waiting for us after class will surely be there, so we don't need to think about it in the moment. We can be present right here, offering your body, your mind, and your spirit this time, this balanced approach to life. When you're ready, take your time coming to a standing position. Go ahead and clear your bolster or your blanket off of the mat. And then bringing the feet hips width apart, lift and separate the toes. Press down through the ball of the big toe, separate the little toes out to the side. Feel your weight balance between the inner outer heel. And then shift your weight to the right. And then shift your weight to the left and come back to center and try to balance on both feet again. Ball of the big toe, inner heel, ball of the little toe, outer heel. And then bend your knees slightly, move the hips back. Scoop the tailbone down, create that long side body, rotate the shoulders back so the palms face forward. And take the throat back and lift the sides of your mouth into a beautiful smile. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Push down through your feet, reach up through your fingertips, elongating the body. And then when you're ready, exhale. So on your exhale, not mine, you let your hands come down. And then notice here, you can pause until the breath is initiated again. You're going to stay. When the inhale comes back again, let the arms float up on the breath. So the breath and the body become united, exhaling down again, and the mind starts to follow, right? So we match the breath with the body, the mind starts to slow itself down. This time on the inhale, we rise and move over to the right side for a nice stretch along the whole left side of the body. Draw the belly button back toward the spine, push down more through the left foot. And then inhale then we're going to rise on the inhale, I should say. And then exhale over to the left, pushing down through the right foot. Feel that activate all along. You've got a certain set of connective tissue that runs the whole side of the body. So we're just stretching out that saran wrap that wants to shrink around you, right? But we're gonna push up against that, elongating that, and then coming back to center. So feel yourself centered a little bit right to left. When we stretch one side and not the other, we create an imbalance, right? And then we balance it out again by going to the second side. Release your hands. Inhale again, reaching up. This time we're going to go over to the right and push down more through the left foot and shifting the weight to the right, or to the left foot rather. Start to come up onto the right toes. Maybe that's your posture here. Or can you actually pull the toes up off the floor? Maybe you need to touch a toe down, pull the toes up, and then hike the leg up into the hip socket. Yes, draw the belly button back for support. This is an odd thing. Come back to center. Release your hands. So remember, the first time you do anything is super weird. The second time, your body's like, okay, I've been here before. Maybe I have a little more balance, a little more stability, whatever it might be. All right, on your next inhale, rise again. And exhale over to the left, shifting your weight onto your left foot, push, or to your right foot. I am sorry, my right and left is mixed up today. It is Monday. Push down through the right foot, come up onto the ball of the left foot, and then hike the toes up, hike the hip up. So now you're reaching over to the left, but that left foot is up off the floor. The knee's not bent. You're just hiking the foot up as high as you can into the hip socket. Good, and press that foot back down to the earth. Release your hands. Now, if that's hard for you, there's a little exercise that would be really great for you to try, standing with your left foot on the block, and watch with my hands on my hips. If I lower down, now you can see my left hip is higher than my right. But now what happens if I pull that right hip up? Now my right hand is higher. Now I can simply go back and forth here, again, adding the breath. Exhaling down, inhaling up, and maybe I have to touch down. That's not a problem, right? It's the action, it's the movement that we're looking for here. And that will, you'll be able to feel this. If this is not something that's easy for you, you'll be able to feel this working. And that's a great exercise to help keep you mobile and keep your range of motion up into this pelvic area. And then it contributes to a healthy gait. So now go to the other side. If you're doing this with me, you can also do this on a stair, like on a hanging onto the banister. If you don't have a block, that might be something that you think about doing a couple times a day, and lifting and lowering. I'm pretending like I'm holding onto the railing, okay? So you can do it to work on your balance as well, but if you're just working on the range of motion, there's no problem to use a chair or a railing there for you. All right, so now we've done that balanced crescent posture, so let's come to the front of your mat, and inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Again, pressing down evenly through both feet, so you've got a balanced posture here. Exhale, release down, forward fold. And inhale, lift halfway up. And exhale, release down. Inhale, step the right leg back to deep lunge. So remember, in your lunge posture, you want this knee directly above the ankle. Moving the back thigh back and then reaching the left arm up to the sky. Move the outer left hip under, press that energy down through the left heel. You can turn and look up toward the hand unless that's too much for your neck. You can always look down toward the earth. I'm up onto my right fingertips. You can also use a block in this posture if that feels better for you. So anything to get that lift and twist. So we don't want to twist in a constricted position. We want to be open and free to be able to twist, dragging the back heel back. And then let's drop the back knee down and come up. I'm going to move the block out of the way for the moment. And then bring the hands into prayer. Well, let's do it this way. Let's take the right hand to the left knee, left hand open behind you. That's one option. The other option is to bring the right elbow outside the left thigh, separating the elbows. This is kind of a twisted prayer position. But if that's not comfortable, know that you're still achieving by the same idea by coming into that other posture. So do what feels right for you here. Then the additional challenge would be to straighten the back leg. And then you could even go back and forth between bending and straightening. So you can decide here. But take a deep breath in and out. One more time in. And exhale down, hands to the mat. Step back to downward facing dog. Now here in downward facing dog, we're going to bend one leg and then the other. Kind of like you're walking through this. But now let's go a little deeper. If I, let's see, straighten the left leg, bend the right. Stay here with the right, but slightly bend the left. You'll get into a little deeper tissue there. And then switch. Now I'm really bending the left, trying to straighten the right. Then I'm going to slightly bend the right. And then straighten both. Spin the inner thighs back. Push into the fingertips. Come up onto your tippy toes. Deep inhale. And exhale, let the heels come down toward the earth. And step the right foot up between your hands. You can always drop that back knee down and just keep situating that, get that foot forward. Good, and then straighten the back leg when you get there. Up onto your left fingertips. Take the right arm up to the sky. Scoop the outer right hip under and send that energy down through the right heel. Ooh, that activates all the way up the leg into the hip. Again, if that doesn't feel good on the neck to look up, you can look down. Spinning that left arm open. And then drop the back knee down. Come up. Take the left hand to the right knee, right hand behind you. Or take the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Separate the elbows apart. straighten the back leg is a challenge, or go back and forth, or just keep the knee down. Either way, we're twisting the spine here. Deep inhale, and exhale, release your hands down. Step forward, forward fold. Shift your hips side to side. Good. Bring your hands to your hips, elbows to the sky. Lift halfway up. Feel the balance between your right and left side, and then the balance between all four corners of both feet. Lift and separate your toes to activate those four corners. And then push down, rise up. Inhale the arms up again. Exhale, release back down. Inhale, lift halfway up. And exhale down. Inhale, this time step the left leg back, swivel the back heel down, and come upright. Bending into the right knee, move the inner thighs back. Scoop the tailbone down, reach the arms out to the side. Turn and look over the right hand. Pressing evenly into both feet, all four corners pressing down. Draw the belly button back, lift the heart. Can you find equanimity of the breath? Long, slow, steady inhale, and exhale. One more time in. And exhale, reverse the hands. Left hand down the left leg, right arm up to the sky. Good. Cartwheel your hands down. Step back to top of a push-up position. Press down into the fingertips and take the insides of the elbows forward. You can drop your knees or keep your legs straight. Slowly bend the elbows. Lowering down. Untuck your toes. Walk your feet toward the back of your mat. Feel the length you get by doing that. And then inhale, lift the shoulders up and away from the floor. Drag the hands back, reach the heart forward. Inhale. And exhale, lower. Bend the knees, push your hips back to child's pose. Curl the toes under, lift up to down dog. Reach the right leg up toward the sky. Push evenly into both hands. You've got a balanced approach here in your arms. Reach the right leg down, left leg up. Push evenly into both hands. And then swing that leg up and through, swivel the back heel down, come upright. Pause here with the breath. Let all the grace surround you, enter in and let go of all expectation and judgment. Bend now into the left knee, inner thighs back, scoop the base of the tail down and arms out to the side. Shoulders kind of lift up and back, so the shoulder blades draw together down the back. Reaching with the fingertips in both directions. Again, we're balanced, so we're not too far forward or too far back. We're right here in the middle. And then release and reverse. Right hand down the right leg, left arm up. Bend more into the left knee if you can. And then reach your hands down to the mat. Step forward, forward fold. So we talk about this balanced energy. Imagine now from the earth with the inhale, you're drawing that energy up the back of your legs, and then the energy comes up and over the spine, the neck, and the head. And then do that again. Inhale, draw the energy up, lifting up through the sitting bones, and then exhaling, letting that energy come over the back,
down the spine, out the neck and the head. Do that one more breath. Bring your hands to your hips, elbows to the sky. Inhale and rise. So could you feel that? If you start to imagine it, then sometimes you can start to feel it in the body. So having a conceptual understanding of the energy, which is kind of hard, right? But you think about energy we can't really see in any regard, whether it's our phone or lights. We can see the energy come when the lights come on. We can see it when our phone is full of charge, but the actual energy itself that's going into the phone, we can't see that either. But it's the same energy, everything is energy, right? So the same energy in our body. So imagining that. Now, let's try it in this different tree posture. Standing on the left leg, right foot. So the toes, you want toes facing forward, right? And then the other foot can be down here, the shin, or up high. You can decide. Hips are forward, knees out to the side. And then move the thighs back. Scoop the tailbone. Reach and open the heart. And then find something stable to look at. Lifting the heart, lifting the gaze. Finding what is going on in your inner self. I'm glad that I'm laughing and not getting frustrated here. Good. Thighs back, scoop the tailbone. Good. Finding the equanimity of the breath. Letting the mind think positive thoughts. Touching down when you're ready. Okay, some days our balance is just harder on one side than it is on the other. Let's check out the other side. Right toes forward. Let's try thighs back. Scoop the tailbone before we start to balance. Send the energy down that standing leg. So we've got stable, firm foundation. Then picking up the foot, placing it where we want it to go. Hands can press into the heart or reach up overhead, and then lift the gaze and lift the heart. See if your in-breath and out-breath can elongate and match each other, finding that balance here. So what does Donna Farhi say? Nothing like a balanced posture to take you right up against your limit, right? Good job. Okay, so let's go into another series of balanced motions here. Grab a block or a book, even a chair. If you're new to yoga, the base of a chair is not a bad idea to use. What we're going to do is take this wide stance. So let's go with the right toes facing the short end of your mat and place the block on the highest setting on the outside of the ankle. Or if you have a chair here, it would just go right here and your hand can be on the chair. So separating your feet far enough apart so that you still feel stable on the mat, but if your feet are too far together, it's gonna feel too constricted. So separating your feet out, moving the inner thighs back, scooping the tailbone, reaching the arms out to the side, and then shift your hips to the left as you reach down with the right hand to find the block, left arm up to the sky. So this is called triangle posture. The shoulder blades draw together on the back, and then can you see how that helps expand the heart when the shoulder blades draw back? The opposite would be this, right? If my shoulder blades are apart, my heart is sinking, right? So we want to draw the shoulder blades together. Now look at what's going on with that top hand. Sometimes this hand is too far forward, sometimes it's too far back. What we want to do is take the shoulder back and then reach the arms straight up to the sky. Putting a slight bend into the right knee will help protect it from hyperextending. So this is your triangle posture. Inhale, draw the energy from the mat all the way up through the feet, up the legs, into the core of the pelvis. Feel the legs start to squeeze together. And then exhale, separating the legs apart, sending that energy down the legs, out the feet, and into the earth. Nice job. Now here we're going to go to a balanced position. So bring the left hand to the left hip, bend into the right leg, hop the left foot in, And then take your block out on the little toe side. No, I don't want to get off camera, so I'm just going to back up just a little bit here. Good. So what I have is out on the little toe side at a diagonal, and there's a little bit of distance in between, so I'm really reaching with this arm, and that's going to create the long side body and give me a broader base of support. In fact, I'm going to pull that foot back just a little bit more. You can do the same. Then shift the weight onto the right foot in the right hand. This might be your posture. Maybe you stay right here. Draw the belly button back. Slowly lift the left leg if you can, and turn and look over to the left. And same thing here as in triangle. Draw the shoulder back, then reach the arm up to the sky. Belly button back toward the spine again, and that left foot might kick forward just a little bit to help draw the belly button back. That gives you that support that connects the top and the bottom half of the body. Yeah, staying here, this is half moon. Then the challenge, of course, is to bend, grab, and open. That's an extra challenge. You can turn and look up to the sky. Good, come back down to the forward fold. Using your block here if you like, notice the difference between the right and left side. Can you feel that? We've created a little disparity there by doing one side and not the other. So this time, go ahead and rise, placing the block to the outside of your left foot. And I'm going to do this so that you can see this posture from behind rather than spinning on my mat. So I'm going to take a step back with my right foot, pause here, collect your energy, collect your scattered thoughts, let grace wash over you so you're softening with the breath. And then hug the legs together, move the thighs back, scoop the tailbone, extend the arms out, and then reach down, find the block, draw the shoulder blades together. So here I'm going to show you again. Shoulder blades separated versus shoulder blades together. And if I find I'm reaching too far back, then I just take the shoulder back first, then the arm up to the sky. Softening into the left knee. That's our triangle posture. So let's do that again, where we take the breath up from the earth, through the feet, up the legs, hugging the legs together. And then from that place of the center of the pelvis, then we're going to push the energy down the legs and out the feet. Good. Bring the top hand to the hip, bend into the left knee, walk the block forward, hop the back foot in, and then shift your weight onto the left foot and the left hand. So broadening your base of support always is a good idea if you need that extra support. Draw the belly button back, kicking the right foot up just a little bit into your vision, your line of vision. Top arm up to the sky. You can even turn and look up to the top hand. See if you can find balance of the breath in this posture. Find balance even when you might feel unbalanced. And then if you want the extra challenge, you don't have to, but you can bend both legs, grab the ankle, lift and separate the toes and kick the foot into the hand. And the hand is resisting the kick back. But spin and look up toward the sky. Nice. Release. Come into that forward fold again. Coming down onto your knees with your feet straight back. So I'm going to try it this way. Here's the difference. You want your feet straight back. Sometimes we automatically start to turn in here. If that's you, you're probably elongated here and shorter here. So attempt to take your feet straight back. You have to kind of look and see. I didn't realize that one was turned in. And then I can sit back right in between my feet. If that's not comfortable for you, you can always sit on a block and do it that way. But over time, you may find that works out just fine to sit here. The other thing I can do is take my blanket, like I can unfold it, or I could just use this. Well, let's try this again. Let me unfold it. Here we go. down. So particularly if you have knee issues, see if I can spin this way. All right, so I'm gonna check, make sure my feet are still straight back, and my hips are gonna kind of come in between my shins. So if you've got knee issues, a lot of times this idea will help create space in the knee joint. But of course, if that doesn't feel good on your knees, you would want to come out of this posture. Okay, if you want to go a little deeper, it looks like this. You can even come back onto your hands or onto your elbows. Keep trying to move the knees down toward the earth. Or you can even lay down. Reaching the arms overhead. But find a posture there that helps you feel balanced and supported, where the breath is still balanced and even. And come back up onto your elbows, up onto your hands, and then spin your feet around. With the feet out in front, cross your right ankle over your left knee, walking your hips toward the heel as much as it feels comfortable. Lift and open the heart. Good, and switch. Lift and separate the toes on that top leg. Well, shoot, I'm even doing it on my bottom leg too. There's no reason you can't. Lift and separate the toes on both feet. Lifting, opening the heart. Notice this is the same posture as laying down here. So if it feels better for you to lay down and do it this way, you're welcome. For now, let's go ahead and move into happy baby. So grab either behind the back of the knees or on the little toe sides of the feet. Let the knees come toward the earth. Push the feet up into the hands, and the hands pull the feet back down again. Good. Release both feet to the outside of your mat, and slowly windshield wiper your knees back and forth. Coming to center, let your knees rest in, so your feet are wide, coming into this constructive rest position. Letting the breath release. Straightening your legs out in front if you wanted to go into the full Shavasana position. But I'm going to leave you with these thoughts. Sit my hips back up on my little bolster here. You can stay in this restorative position, resting here. We are accustomed to living in conflict, but we can learn to redirect our efforts. We can liberate our tendencies. We can untap the resource of energy. So with the next breath in, recognize where there might be conflict in the body, the mind, or the spirit. And then as you exhale, let that held tension, that extra energy, let that go. And find a liberation in the exhale. So try that again, inhaling, drawing that awareness of the energy of the breath into any spot that needs a little extra attention, a little extra liberation. Letting all that go with the exhale. And on the next inhale, imagine evenly spreading that energy all throughout the body. There's not one thought or one sticking point that requires more energy than another. We become balanced in mind and body and spirit. I'll leave you to rest here in this position as long as you like. Or if you're already in a seated position with me, we can bring the hands together at the heart and bow in gratitude for this practice and its teachings. Thank you so much. Resting here as long as you like.